welcome to Daily Spiritual Thought. And today's title is You Are Always Broadcasting. Today is about a very special topic for your personal process of consciousness. So I want to remind you that you are in the act of broadcasting every moment. You are basically permanently on air. Why is it important to remind yourself of this every now and then? Simply because your entire future life, your quality of life, depends on it. So if you want to change something in your life, if you want to improve your circumstances, if you still have unfulfilled dreams in the drawer, then it's crucial to ask, what am I sending? Because the quality of your own frequency determines whether you may welcome the desired in your life and also the timing, how quickly it manifests. You can also make it easy for yourself and say that everyone sends, and I'm already dealing with positive topics. I read a good book now and then and also meditate a little, but you should be aware that the more often you practice this positive thinking, to focus on what you want, the faster it becomes an automatism, and automatisms determine our lives. You can perceive it on the outside. Every human being is permanently on air, but only the fewest are aware that everything that happens to them has to do with themselves, with what they send, because they don't know it. They think the other people are responsible for it, or the environment, or any connections that are then constructed. They make the outside world accountable for their sending and the corresponding receiving. The relationship between their send out thoughts and what has happened is clear to the fewest. Now you come into play because you are all aware that you are more a creative universal being who can shape his own life based on your own thoughts, feelings, and your imagination. But you should be aware that the decisive factor is the intensity you bring to this process. If you manage to make this awareness automatic, you will be fascinated by how quickly you see results in your life. If we are careless, as it can happen again and again, then a day runs unconsciously. We get up, go to work, do some shopping, come home, have dinner, and end the day on the sofa in front of the TV. In the most favorable case, with a good book instead of watching TV. This way, of course, hardly anything changes. Most people don't realize the essence, and even many involved in the process of consciousness haven't yet made an automatism out of it. This is only possible through permanent awareness, remembering again and again who we really are, electromagnetic beings who constantly send a frequency out into the world, whether consciously or unconsciously. We can't help but send. That is what makes us. With every thought, our body frequency changes, and with our hearts, we pulse our own frequency into the environment. And beyond that, the information changes via our own cells, which constantly take up photons, light particles, and also send them back out into the world with the vibration as we have programmed them. So the crucial thing is to put ourselves on the wavelength that corresponds to what we care about. Make yourself clear again and again. Everything that is sent with a certain wavelength, we also draw back into our lives. You could say, with what you send, you also order the corresponding, your future, and that in every moment. Think about it for a second. You've got it? So what is more important than to check the order of one's own future over and over again? Am I on the frequency for the future I want to experience? Imagine an order in the internet. Can it be before you release the order that you check again whether it's the right article and you have nothing wrong in the shopping cart? Only then you're gonna release the order, right? Do you do this in your own life as carefully, always checking before you send something? We have the gift of always being able to check. we can look outside and ask ourselves, what people do we meet? What situations do we get into? What's actually happening? If you look at this, you know how your sending of the last days and weeks has turned out, and you notice if it points to a change or as it has always been, or maybe even goes in a negative direction. We can only succeed if we are mindful and check if what we send matches what we want to receive. If everything is going in the direction you want, everything is falling into place, then intensify this frequency, this transmission. But if you find that it's not what you want, then find ways to keep reminding yourself to realign consciously. What you send comes back to you. I've linked you to a daily spiritual thought below in the description box, which is a wellness helper that could support you. Send out wonderful and you receive wonderfully. For now, this is Andreas from Daily Spiritual Thought. Even though it is getting crazier and crazier what we are experiencing worldwide, have a wonderful time. Thanks a lot for listening and God bless.